Montgomery,
Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Once I was through with that, then I went home. Because you remember when I initially went in, I went in as a reservist.
Right.
So I went back home and...
you went on leave?
No, I was finished with my time as a reservist.
Oh, I see.
Because I went in initially as a reservist. And then once that was done, I got back home, which was somewhere in July. And then I went active duty January 88.
Oh. Did you have to attend meetings or things like that while you were home?
Yes,
like
I did my,
the
weekend.
Weekend training?
Weekend training. I did that.
How often was that?
One weekend a month until I was able to go active duty.
To know what you did as a med tech.
As a med tech, we started IVs. We, of course, blood pressure. We took care of the patient. We bathed the patient. We did our, if they had, needed insulin, their finger stick, we checked those. Yeah. We did everything that a licensed nurse that required a non-licensed personnel. We didn't dispense medication, like narcotics, because you needed a license to do that. If you're doing breathing treatments and things like that, the nurses will allow you to do that. Because it came a point where they can tell who's a strong nurse, or I should say the strong tech. You have those that that are good at starting IVs and things like that. And the things that we learned as a med tech was so advanced compared to what they were allowing a nursing assistant. It was the equivalent to that, what they were allowing a nursing assistant to do in civilian. They were not allowed to do, to start IVs, and things like that. I mean, we did all that. We did all that in the military. Yes, we did.
And that training was 2 months, did you say, that you had before you went on leave?
Right, the training from, yes.
The practical training was 2 months.
Yes.
And how did you get back to your home from Mobile?
I flew. We flew from...
That's Montgomery.
Montgomery, yes. We flew from Montgomery back to New Jersey. And then once I was there, I had to do some soul searching, and that's when I decided I needed to go active duty. And I started to, go through the process.
That was an option in the reserves.
Well...
You went as an individual, you didn't go with a unit.
Right. Because everyone, when you go into your station, you go in as, as an individual. I just chose to go active duty. I wanted to.
How long were you home before you went on active duty?
July. About 4 months, because I went active duty January.
And where did you go for active duty?
Active duty, I was stationed at Pease Air Force Base.
Oh, you went back there?
Pease Air Force Base, and then from there I went to Tyndall Air Force Base in Florida.
Now, when you were home, you said you had weekend training, weekends, was it every weekend, or was it once a month? Or
once a month in reserve, yes, when I was in reserve.
So that was about how long?
Just for the time, it was the 4 months in between the time before I went active duty.
Now, when you went on weekend training, did you go with a unit, or were you as an individual?
Yes, as a unit.
We
were at McDowell Air Force Base.
Oh.
We trained at a McDowell Air Force Base in New Jersey.
Oh. I'll tell you later. So then, when you decided to go on active duty, you flew to Pease from New Jersey?
From New Jersey, correct.
And were you assigned to a unit?
Yes, I was assigned to the med-surg unit, or the medicine unit, at Pease Air Force Base.
And how many people, generally speaking?
It was I'm trying to think, we had 24-bed unit.
Oh.
24-bed unit, and we saw a lot of, active duty and retirees, because they had a lot of retirees there as well. And then I think I stayed on that unit about a year, and then I went over to the OB unit, and I worked on the OB unit.
Was that at Pease?
Yes,
also?
yes, it was all at at Pease.
Let me just ask too. You mentioned that you flew back and forth to various places. Was that commercial or was it Air Force planes that you?
No, it was commercial.
Commercial?
Yes,
Okay.
it was commercial.
And just to this, now that you're at Pease, you're in this unit. What would have been, let's say, the most horrific thing that you saw, or most terrible thing that, from a medical standpoint? It just caught my eye. You in the medical field. I'm sure there's some bad days, some good days. You don't have to give out confidential information.
Right. I think, for me, now going into the medical field, when you actually go in, you have a patient. My first patient that I found that was deceased, that was something that I took real hard, because I know I was just in there talking to that person. Here it is an hour later, I went back in, and the person had expired, and it was a lot for me to adjust to the different stages and learning how to recognize the different stages that we go through. Doing through that, or if it's because sometimes it could be something sudden, or you can be progressively dying, and that's what I had to. One thing that I took away from that, when the nurse sat me down, she was telling me, well, remember, if you recall, this is what was going on, and this is what his respirations were, and this is what was. So we knew that it was something that would be, something near, but still, it takes a while.
Were these casualties?
No.
Just regular routine, day to day.
And then another thing that I had to get used to when we did our training as a medical group, we did a lot of our like wartime training with the police department, with the police on the base, the MPs.
Oh.
And they would do like the blank rounds, when you hear these big, and the first time you hear it early in the morning, you're out in the field, getting ready for med red, and they would be, you had the MPs doing their duties, and we had to retrieve the individuals, the casualties, that because it was a mock, but actually going through that process, and this was way before Desert Storm, so you hearing the gunshot, and that was, it was something to try to get used to that.
Now, this was all at Pease, and how long were you?
Panama City, Florida.
Oh,
Yeah.
quite, yeah. So
Yeah.
you flew to